Hey, what's up, guys? Long time no see. I've just been so busy trying to work, trying to keep things going for the fam. I haven't really had time to race much, After my mother passed away, man, it's just like my interest in things has kind of gone down. It's kind of really affected me. She was just so young, and matter of fact, I've actually got a lawsuit against the hospital that she was being treated at for 6 months. And then, she got discharged after intensive care, being admitted in intensive care for like over a week. And this happened maybe 3 or 4 times over the course of like 4 or 5 months, where she'd go in there with the same symptoms, and they were never able to diagnose her. So that's just, it's got, so right now we're working on a lawsuit. Morgan is taking the case, and hopefully we can, get them to have some accountability for their actions, because she was not getting a high quality standard of care. Morgan, the attorney they sent me, is really on top of this, and he's really ready to make some moves, and he thinks that this case could be worth a significant amount. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But, it's just a lot of things I've been going through, because what happened with my mother was wrong. She ended up dying from stage 3 cancer after going to the hospital for 6 months and not getting diagnosed, while being admitted like 3 times. And she would have the same problems every time, and they could never figure it out. We took her to UVA the day after she got discharged from Mary Washington, with them saying, "Oh, COPD or flare-up." And then UVA immediately diagnosed her with stage 3 cancer, and like end life stage of cancer. Didn't know how much longer they were hoping for. Maybe, I don't know what they were hoping for. I was hoping for about a year or longer, but within a month and a half or 2 months after the diagnosis, her health declined so bad. It was very sad. And it's my mom, and I miss her so much, guys. So I hope you guys understand why I haven't been making much content. My spirits have just kind of been broken for the past few months. I'll get back with it soon, because I've got family that loves me, and I got to be there for them. And I've got to get through this. But yeah. So I think that I do think that that it's going to be all right. And she was 68. She lived a rough life. So I'm kind of looking at, we're fortunate to have gotten her for so long as we did. I just miss her so much, man. And all y'all will eventually one day realize that you take people for granted. And then, something happens and they're gone, and then you start to realize how much you really miss them and how you wish you would have spent more time with them. So, all right, so a few things I want to show you. I got a new chassis for my e-buggy because, well, a couple reasons. If you look at the ears, where the droop screws are, I can just see that these droop screws, with their hex head on it, is just tearing into these ears, making it not last as long as it should. So when I install this new chassis, I am going to put on some smooth bottom, screws there. The, what do they call the droop screws, so that it doesn't destroy the chassis, hopefully, as much. But I got a pretty good use out of this chassis. Loctite. Here's another thing. I'm going to come up with something. Instead of using Loctite, I might just start putting a little bit of like that white stuff you wrap around threads on air machines to kind of help seal it. I might start using that, just because that blue Loctite, no matter what I heat it to, a lot of times it doesn't want to break, and I'll strip ahead. Now, I don't always have the highest quality tools, but when they're brand new, sometimes we'll still have issues. But anyway, so I've got these two that I've been trying to drill out, because I was concerned with trying to keep the chassis. Now I'm just going to drill it down into the chassis, get a big, go ahead and get a big, I might try to work on that now, but go ahead and get a big cut in them so that a flathead can remove them. But we got a new chassis, and the other parts, I did just get new plastics on like the tie rods The front, these front arms are in fairly new shape. I've gone through several bodies. I've got like 4 or 5 bodies for this thing. This one's probably in the best condition, the orange one still. So that's why I'm going to be running. Sharing some interesting things about shock positions, and it says when you get. I was listening to Ryan Harrison. He was saying, well, when you go out on the shocks, when you have an outer setup, you generally want to lower your oils so that it will feel better. If you're going with like higher oils, you want it to be at the first mount to the inside, not the out, is what he was saying. So it's something I'm going to try out. Right now I did lessen my shock fluids. I've got like 32 in the back and about 40 in the front. So we're going to try that with the outer holes. That's pretty low. I might switch the front shock outer holes to the inner holes, but I do have a carbon fiber front shock tower on it now. The axles are in pretty decent shape. They could probably use new pins, probably just new axles. So when I do get this chassis on, I am going to put new axles, new out drives, like these little couplers. Could put new ones up here, new ones here, all new axles. So this will be new over here, that'll be new over there. I'm gonna do that with the rear, and then also the input couplers from the rear differential and the input coupler at the front differential, and then new center drive lines. So after all that, this thing will probably sound almost new. So I've gone back to a brand new 16 tooth pinion. This buggy sounds super smooth. I'm running it in sensorless mode with a hobby wing, 150 amp 6/8 cable ESC. It really does well. It's a 32-bit processor, so it seems to it does well on startup. I think it does just fine for racing, and I only paid like $60 for the motor. And the ESC I paid 100 and something, so I got a $160 combo that I think will compete with the $350 combos. It's got polarity protection. It's capable of 6S. I did have some issues with it. Maybe it needs a new hardware update, but since I've been running a sensorless motor, I'm not having any issues. I think it's the sensor was causing it to have issues. So alright guys, so we got a new chassis that we will be installing here on the next. I'll probably race it one more time like it is, and then I will work to get these screws out and buy whatever parts I gotta do to get it mounted up to this new chassis. From there, we'll get a new body, and we need some new tires, but it's gonna be a lot better because Serpent hasn't released a new buggy and God knows how long. The SRX-8 was barely different than the SRX-8 Pro for the e-buggy and the Nitro buggy. Now the ones before were the SRX-8 Evo, and then they had the SRX-8 Evo Nitro. But there really wasn't a whole lot. I think they did change from a swivel gear to a straight cut gear. They got their differentials a little bigger. It's a little different, but it's not significantly different. The layout of the buggy looks identical. The steering Ackerman is one of the differences, and probably these, these are like probably I think these are either 17 or 21 spindles. I'm not sure. These ones don't have the marking on it to indicate. So, but they feel good. It's whatever comes with the Pro, and I'm happy with it. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope to be out racing at Red Brush this weekend, so hopefully I'll see y'all there. Thanks for watching. I also got my Nitro buggy over there. I finally got the OS engine running beautiful, so I think I'm gonna do some damage with this. One thing I think I'm gonna upgrade it to a rear ceramic bearing, and I got a guy with a DLC coated crankshaft that I'm gonna get from him. So, all right, guys, later.